This is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from the beautiful metaverse, and more specifically, beautiful Danville, Illinois, homeland of the Correllian tradition. And this is Midday with Reverend Don. And today we have a guest. And our guest is Krys Copeland. Hello, Kristy.
Hi, nice to see you again.
And Kristy is the new executive director of Correllian Publishing. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. It's been fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, let me make sure our little chat is up. I'm not putting it on the screen today, but we, as people who follow Midday with Reverend Don know, they can ask questions or make comments on whatever platform they're watching on. It will appear here for us, and we can answer them. So tell us about what your plans are for Correllian Publishing.
Well, I have a lot of them, but I'll start with the primary mission for it. This was originally founded to assist elders in the community by providing them with potential income for into their retirement, for sharing their wisdom with the pagan community. And so far, that has happened previously with Elder Care for You, Reverend Don. And we'd like to see that branch out and grow so that we can serve even more of the elders in our community. We're working on that currently. We have Travel Magic from Lisa McSherry. We had a soft launch last year. We're going to do a bigger launch this year with that. And in addition to that, we would like to invite anyone in the community who has an idea for a book to share, to preserve your wisdom through the Correllian Publishing Ministry, and help out other elders at the same time.
That's wonderful. And it's the idea of preserving the wisdom of the elders. I was talking just the other day about how much has changed since the 1980s, and how many of the people I knew then are totally forgotten now. People who had really good things to say, but there was nowhere with a long-term shelf life for them to say it.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually quite an important thing.
Absolutely.
Now, you are located in Europe.
Yes, I'm in the Netherlands.
Yeah. And so for you, this is like the middle of the night, I believe.
No, it's only 7 p.m. here. We're actually going to go to dinner after this at one of our favorite Greek restaurants in town. So
very cool.
Still an early evening.
And hello to Sir Edward in the chat room. It's good to see you.
Hi, Ed.
And he says blessings.
Blessings to you too.
So, for those who are not familiar with Correllian Publishing, which if you're watching this program, I can't imagine how you're not familiar with it, but you can find it at correllianpublishing.com. And would you like to talk a little bit about the things we have there?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see if I can share my screen here, and I'll actually pull up our website and show everyone around. I have a lot of other things in the background, so have to make sure I grab the right one. I think everybody can see this now.
No, press it again. The button misfired.
Oh, it misfired. Okay, let's try it one more time.
There we go.
All right. So first off, I want to show you the new page that we have on the website, the most important page, in my opinion, which shares our ministry. Basically, this involves finding elders who need services, as well as elders who want to preserve that wisdom, that important wisdom that so many of our elders in the past did not get to preserve in cultures all over the world. And that's happening more and more every day. Every day we're losing pieces of wisdom that are part of our community. And hopefully with our ministry, we can stop that or at least slow it down and preserve a few pieces. So we would love people to come forward and help with that. And we base our creations on your inspiration. So if you want to make a deck of cards, we can help you with that. If you want to make a book, if you want to make products for the pagan life, whether that's mugs or magnets or bumper stickers. Come to us with your ideas. We're happy to help you with that and get you started on it. And also, great ways to help support this ministry, of course, is through purchasing. Every purchase that you make, part of that money does go to elder care for the community. And also, we do provide higher royalties than most other publishing houses. As far as I know, every other publishing house in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yes, we want to be as fair as possible with that, and just basically we're a nonprofit organization, so our goal is to serve the community, and we do that through a variety of products as well. So you'll see here that our ancestor cards, a lot of our cards are sold out. We do have, I believe, the numerology deck and the
We definitely have the rune deck,
rune deck.
and there are a couple of others that we have a small number of.
Yes.
And they mostly should not show as sold out on the site.
Okay.
And
so
hello to Boris in the chat room.
Oh, sorry. Who's in the chat room?
Boris.
Boris, nice to see you in the chat, Boris. Let us know if you have any questions as we go through
I
this.
should warn you, I constantly say hello to everyone I see in the chat.
That's great. I always forget to do that, so it's great to have someone in the chat that remembers and notices that. Yeah, so with our card collections, what we would love to do is our plans are to turn these cards into printable versions that you can download the ebook or e-deck, and then print them at your local printer. So that way, you're buying global, but you're still buying local as well.
Well, that's a very important point, because we do have people all over the world who periodically order from us, and it can be very difficult shipping from just one spot. And Sir Edward says, get your Witch School books, and if you're looking at the screen right now, you can see them.
Yes, absolutely. We have here the 4-book set and the lessons for the first degree by itself.
Yes, in hardback and paperback. And these are the most current version, and beautifully illustrated. When the older versions came out, even then I felt like they needed more illustration to explain some of the concepts inside. So these versions are heavily illustrated with charts and examples of how to do the things that are being described, so that you don't have to rely only on the verbal description.
That was really helpful for me when I was taking the first degree set myself, the first degree course. Your drawings in there of how to visualize the different chakras of the body.
Thank you.
Super helpful for someone who thinks in words like me, and not necessarily as easily in pictures. So if I can see that, then it helps me to be able to also just copy that picture into my mind, and help me visualize. So yeah, that was a brilliant addition to the first degree book. I'll go ahead and take you through some more of the site here. Of course, we have our mugs. We have a few different mugs if you want to support Witch School. We're working on bringing the Witch School products back onto the site as well. But we also have the Correllin mug, and I believe one other one, I think Pagan World mug. We also have this awesome creative card thing. I find this absolutely brilliant, that I believe this is Rev Don will be creating this artwork for you, so you can have your own personalized tarot card, or even it could be something that's not even in the deck at all, something that is custom to yourself. So, and with 50 copies of it, you can give them out as gifts to other tarot card readers or oracle readers that you know. This one I absolutely adore.
Thank you. People who have had one made have been pretty pleased with them.
That's wonderful. I think what we should do is maybe get some photos of those up on the website so people can see some more examples of what can be done. And really let your creativity go wild with that. Like you can think of, if you have like an animal totem that you would like, you can use that as kind of a representation for yourself or something.
Yes, indeed.
Now, this one is new for today. I just put this up on the website earlier, and it is on sale right now, 95 cents in euros, but 99 cents in USD. This is the 40 Spells to Better Magic ebook. So you can order the paperback as well, but if you want to, be nice to the environment, go green and save 90% off the price. Go with the ebook, and it's got 40 different lessons on not just the spell itself, but also a lesson about how to improve your spell work overall. I found that fascinating when I was going through that today.
Thank you. Hello, Brian, in the chat room. It's good to see you, Brian.
Hi, Brian. Welcome to the chat. Do we have any questions from anyone in the chat? Feel free to drop those in. I'll be happy to. If there's a specific book you want to look at or a specific product, just let me know. Or if you have questions about maybe bringing your own wisdom into the Correllin Publishing catalog, just let us know. And I'm going to go and take a look at that Infinite Tarot. This is something that our goal is to bring this back within the next few months as the e-cards that you can print and make locally. But there are so many different kinds. Also, the Muse cards are still available. So if you do want to get those, then jump on the website now because there's not that many left of those. But we do want to put all of these into ebook format. So you can, the Santa Tarot, I found that great. I think we should do something like that for each of the Sabbats. Yeah. So there's so much you can do with all of these products. Just, mix and match your tarot deck, your oracle deck, all of those different things. And
hello to Eve in the chat room. Good to see you, Eve.
Hi, Eve. Thank you for joining. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to add that in the chat. Of course, like Rev Don mentioned earlier, we have all of those those Correllian Wicca books that you can use for your studies, including Ritual and Theory and Practice. The Common Book of Witchcraft and Wicca ebook is another one of our new ones that is out. So take a look at it as well. This one is quite fascinating with all different short articles about different topics within witchcraft and Wicca. So yeah, another excellent one to add to your reading deck or your collection. This one right here, Reverend Don, can you tell us a little bit more about this one, since this is the one that you're currently working on?
Reverend Don's Book of Astrology is basically about how to interpret a chart, especially a natal chart, but any chart. And we'll talk about the different elements of the chart, the planets, the signs, their placement, the aspects that can occur between planets, the houses, and it will go through them and explain them to people so that when you look at your chart, you can see what it means.
That's fascinating.
And hello to Black Crystal in the chat room. Good to see you.
Hello, Black Crystal. Welcome to the chat. Let us know if you have any questions or comments. Yeah, I'm really excited about this one coming out. So keep tuned for that one. If you follow us on social media, you can find us at Correllin.publishing on everything. And I believe Correllin.publishing on TikTok, Insta, Threads, and Facebook. So check us out there on Insta. I think it's Correllin.publishing. Yeah, and yep, that's the astrology book. As far as other things that I'd love to just mention in regards to Correllin Publishing is just how much of a blessing it has been to be able to go through since early or late last week I was appointed to go through our catalog and just see the massive amounts of wisdom that we have stored there, wisdom that is decades old at this point. Yeah, and can you tell us about maybe some of the older books that we have and some of that's in our catalog?
Yes, and hello to Calvin in the chat room. Good to see you,
Hi,
Calvin.
Calvin.
Calvin is joining us from Raleigh, North Carolina. The Five Mystic Secrets is one of the older books. It's a new edition, but this was published in the mid-1980s. It was written by my mother. And this is the multilingual edition, so it includes English, Spanish, Greek, French, Portuguese, Dutch, Swedish, and German. And that's um, probably the oldest single manuscript. Um, and actually, the degree lessons were first written close to 30 years ago. It's the newest version available. They have been updated repeatedly, but they're quite old, and they have had their evolution over the years. Let me take a quick look and see what all is listed.
And I do see here, Black Crystal, feel free to call me Krys, everybody does, so no need for Miss Copeland, but thank you, I appreciate the politeness.
Yes. Oh, the omnibus. I should mention the omnibus, which is available in a couple of different forms. The omnibus is Reverend Don's omnibus of magical incantations and invocations for all occasions. I think that's all of the title. And it is a conglomerate of mini spells. Each page has an artwork and an incantation. And the artwork in that one goes back as far as the 1970s in some cases.
So
it's a bit of a
early
retrospective of my artwork.
Absolutely. Also, I kind of think of the 70s as like the teenage angst rebellion period of Wicca. So, the 1940s, 50s were the infancy of what we know as modern Wicca. Definitely, the 70s were a huge period of growth for paganism and other earth-based religions during that time. So it's
It was
fascinating.
certainly an interesting decade.
Yes, absolutely. I missed it by a few years, but I've heard great stories about it.
I came of age during that period. We want to say hello to Tom in the chat room and to Renee. Good to see you both.
Hi, Renee.
I love all the different people that we have watching who choose to comment and all those who don't. It just, I find it very gratifying to interact with people. But yeah, the 70s were a very interesting time, very different from now. But we know that. Another book we have that isn't exactly old, but the Great Women of Antiquity coloring book, available as an ebook on the site, includes artwork and biographies of famous women from history.
Yes, I remember that one.
We have Reverend Don's Book of Questions. They have some pretty old material too. Reverend Don's Books of Questions, there are so far 3 volumes. There eventually will be 4. And they are questions from when I was doing Reverend Don's vlog, which, could you hit the button again?
Yes, I can do that. I was pulling up the Great Women of Antiquity first, the coloring book.
Cool.
I just love the cover on this. If that's anything like the interior,
it is. That's a group of 3 different women representing very different backgrounds, who are 3 different pages, 3 different images, 3 different bios in the book. And you can see there's a long list of all the different people we cover.
Oh, the Queen of Carthage, I love that. I was just talking about that story the other day.
I was very intent on making sure we had a very wide diversity of figures. It would be very easy to just have a handful of queens and princesses from Egypt and Greece and Rome and call that a day. But I made it a much wider representation. And we have, for example, the first known female doctor mentioned by name, who was Egyptian. The first known author mentioned by name, who is one of the ladies on the front cover, and Hedwana, who was from Mesopotamia. We have We have Murasaki Shikibu, one of the great ancient novelists of Japan. We have Sei Shonagon, the other great writer of medieval Japan. And they were, shall we say, frenemies. And we talk about that. And it's both educational and, if you like coloring, or even if you just like the black and white artwork, it has that. And if you want to color them like a coloring book, you can print them out from the ebook as many times as you want, and make different versions. Have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. And you had also mentioned the Book of Questions series, and this was
Yes.
actually one of my favorites to work on. It was the first one that we did for with Speak Your Own Book.
Yes. And I did Reverend Don's vlog for 10 years, and there were hundreds and hundreds of questions that viewers would ask me, and I would give answers to, and that's what makes up these books. And one of the greatest compliments that I have received over time was the comment that I was willing to answer everybody's question. And I think it was meant as a compliment, but I certainly took it as one. Because one of the things I used to do is I would answer questions that I know that other people might not have taken seriously, and still find an important meaning in the answer. And also giving people information. So the books of questions, all the different volumes deal with spiritual questions about the nature of deity, the nature of the soul, incarnation and reincarnation, metaphysical questions about different sorts of psychic reading and psychic development and different kinds of divination, questions about the pagan community, questions about the wider magical community, questions about history. There are questions about people's idea of angels and aliens, and I think there's at least one mermaid who managed to get into the book. And I'm very proud of them. I think that it was a very broad range of subject matter. And hello to Martin in the chat room, who says the site looks great. Thank you, Martin.
That's my partner.
Okay.
Hi, Martin. Very sweet of him to join, though.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I actually I really loved working on these. It was fascinating to just figure out a process for this, and then
Yes.
be able to take that same process and turn it into something that was scalable and usable for people who didn't have a backlog of vlogs for 10 years or longer,
Yeah.
and be able to just do interview style recordings with someone, and then turn those interviews into a book for them. And that's just a fascinating process, and
Yes.
I'm very glad to have been part of the Book of Questions, volumes 1 through 4.
Oh, they would never have happened without you.
Thank you.
Because I could never possibly have had the patience to transcribe all those questions from video.
Well, I wasn't just me alone. I had a whole team working on that one. Our
Yeah.
team over at Speak Your Own Book, we have some amazing transcribers. And for the most part, on the first one, I did that one. I did the project management on it.
Mhm.
But for the next three, we actually had two of our transcribers step in, Nikki and Esther, who are co-founders with Speak Your Own Book. And they led the team in finishing up the rest of them. And I just proofread them at the end before we sent them out.
Wonderful.
So, yeah, it was a quick process too. We got all 4 of them done in just 2 or 3 months, maybe something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
It's a fun project to work on.
I'm very proud of them. I think that they came out beautifully.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go ahead and close the sharing here on this. And yeah, so as far as additional plans that we have for Correllin Publishing, you'll notice that several of the books on our website are only available in print versions right now. Expect that to quickly change over the next couple of weeks. as we put up more of the ebook versions that will be both more affordable, pocket friendly, as well as earth friendly. So yeah, grab those digital copies. The book of the 40 Spells book is actually available for 99 cents, and you can find that on both Amazon and our website. Although it helps us more if you purchase it through our website. Yeah. So if there are any questions from anyone that's listening in right now, do you have ideas for your own books, or maybe elders that you know that you would like their wisdom preserved? If so, give us a shout out in the chat and let us know about that. I'd be very curious to hear about it.
Well, speaking of preserving wisdom, one of the people I used to work with was Donna Lyon Rose. She was a wonderful poet. And her poetry was well known in the pagan community at the time. I don't know that anyone remembers any of it now. She passed away long ago, and there was nothing to carry it forward. So getting people's work into long-term availability, I think, is an important thing.
Mhm.
I can think of other people from those long ago days of the pagan press who did beautiful work. I don't know where you'd find it today. If you can find a morgue of some of those different magazines, you might find it, but that's not the easiest thing in the world, because many of the magazines in the pagan press didn't print that many copies. The big ones like Circle, yes, but some of the smaller ones, not so much. And there was so much art and writing and poetry and news in those publications that in many cases is just lost forever, because the people involved have died without making any long-term arrangements for that information. So the idea of preserving information is very important to us. It's
Absolutely.
been a constant theme in everything we've done. If you look at Magic TV and Pagan World TV, one of the big aspects of that is preserving the interviews with people, different events, and so forth. And it's very important. I think it's very important to preserve our history this way, or any way, because we can lose it so easily if we don't.
Absolutely, and we've experienced that so much in pagan cultures all over the world throughout history. And if we have ancestors, living ancestors, that can pass down their wisdom and preserve that wisdom, there's never been an easier time in human history for us to be able to do that. And we've had to overcome a lot of difficulties in humanity in order to reach this point, starting with just getting people literate. That was a huge challenge up until the early 1900s, and in some places it's still a challenge.
Yes.
But with people, one, being literate, and two, now having access to very affordable, if not free, technology to produce and record this wisdom, there's no reason not to at this point. We have all of the information and the technology available, and the skills and resources to do it. It's just a matter of finding those elders who need their wisdom preserved. Yeah. Yes, I'll put the publishing link. Thanks, Alan, for mentioning that. Great idea. There it is.
Oh, wonderful. Well, with that, I see that we've come to the end of our half hour. Is there any last message you have for people?
I think my last message for them is to start thinking about what wisdom they would like to leave behind, what legacy they want to leave, whether that's for children that you have or grandchildren, or for the broader pagan community or humanity as a whole. Think about that wisdom. And even if you don't publish it through Correllin Publishing, publish it. Get it published somewhere because the world needs to hear your voice.
So with that, thank you for joining us. Everyone, please check out CorrellinPublishing.com. I will be back tomorrow And I hope you have a wonderful day, and let us close with our prayer as we always do. Divine Mother Goddess, Divine Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you for all of the things that you place in our life. We thank you for preserving wisdom and helping us to preserve our wisdom and also the wisdom that we have learned from. Help us to maintain the chain of knowledge as we go forward. Beloved Mother Goddess, beloved Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you, knowing you are always with us, but from respect, we thank you for your presence, and may you be blessed now and always. And I thank you for your presence, and I thank you, Krys, for your presence,
Thank you.
and may you be blessed now and always.
Blessed be everybody.